But of course, with the advent of social media, we have gotten dumber and we have gotten less fluent in our own language. And the last story we'll look at is one that has to deal directly with social media. And according to Yahoo, social media is dying. The world is still digesting the news that billionaire Elon Musk actually owns Twitter. But in fact, the development marks just the latest sign that social media as we knew it has come to an end. Twitter and the company formerly known as Facebook once dominated social media, but now both of them face uncertain futures. Twitter took on $13 billion in debt to complete the Musk deal. Facebook parent Meta spent $10 billion last year on a pivot to the metaverse, while its main Facebook app struggles to remain relevant to younger users. So as it seems, these once mega giants that no one believed would be wiped off the face of the map are now going to die the death of a million MySpaces, or probably a billion MySpaces, because they're really hemorrhaging money right now. Jack Dorsey just recently came out and said that the reason Elon Musk had to fire so many people was simply because of him. It was his fault. They tried to grow the company too quick, and as a result of it, they are losing money. So as much as the media has tried to paint Elon as the bad guy, at least Jack Dorsey had enough fortitude, moral fortitude at that, to be honorable enough to come out and say that he is the reason that all of those Twitter employees had to be fired. But it's a sign that these once strong social media companies are potentially, preparing for an exit. So we'll see if Elon Musk can rescue it, and we'll see if the metaverse can change the Facebook. But it's not likely, because people are moving to platforms like Twitch and TikTok and the like. Now, I get that this report about Twitter and Facebook and others may really just be snowflakes melting and upset that Elon bought Twitter. But if they are correct that this could spell the end of big companies like Twitter and Elon simply because free speech is able to flourish on these platforms, then I think actually what we have is a great debt of gratitude to give to Elon. And so I'd like to take just a moment to thank him. So first of all, I'd like to thank you for hopefully curing the death of information in society. Right now, we're drowning in a sea of irrelevance and losing the ability to know what to care about and what matters simply because we are inundated with information constantly. And rather than accessing information that matters, we have information that ultimately leaves us not any more better than we were when we first read it. And so thank you for helping us cure the death of information. And then thank you for helping us cure the death of the private. Because of social media, everybody thinks all of your own personal business that we don't care about is everybody else's business.
You need to keep your business off of Facebook.
Because of this, no wonder people think it's perfectly normal to protest outside of the private residence of Supreme Court justices, or to do any number of things that in former generations would at least be in bad taste. There is no more private because of social media, because now all of our private lives are broadcast for the whole world to see. So thank God that we might be able to reclaim the private. And the death of real conversations. Thank you, Elon, for curing that. There's cowards and keyboard warriors out there to aplenty, all revealing to the world who they are without social media. Fair enough. But at least before, they didn't have a platform to air all of their ridiculous and illogical and unthoughtful opinions. Which brings us to the next thing. If social media goes down, it might be the cure for the death of thought. Sure, it was dead before social media, but at least people didn't have the pulpit they have now to let us know that we have done such a poor job in the public education system. All of that to say this, that the death of conversation is a real issue and something that we can do something about. And it starts by opening up our minds to the great conversation. I kind of alluded to it before, but one of the things that you can do is maybe access a library. Now, maybe it could be an online library, sure, but it wouldn't kill you to actually walk physically into a library. More importantly, it wouldn't kill you to read a book that was published before the year 2000, a classic, something that brings us back to a former wisdom that we lack in the present. This is the beauty of history, and this is the beauty of technology, really, is that, yeah, we can access that stuff, but we've done what the most ridiculous societies do with technology: talk to each other rather than talk to our past and try to gain information from the past. We don't want just direct information. We want serendipitous information. So we don't just want a Google search that takes us to where McDonald's is. We want information that helps us access new information and new ideas to us so that we can actually come up with original thought. And that happens when we unplug from social media and we enter into a dialogue that perhaps happened even decades, if not generations before. And then we can actually access the great conversation by the rediscovery of spirituality. Now, you may not be a Christian, and that's fine. We have a society that allows for a bunch of different religions to coexist. But here's what I would ask you to do, is not make the mistake of thinking that all religions are equal or believe the same. A wise man once said that Christianity is virtually the same as other religions, except for in the areas of the nature of God, the nature of man, the nature of sin, the nature of creation, and many other things. So, in other words, take the time to actually enter into the great conversation, the greatest conversation I think that we can have. Who is God? One of the best questions that you can ask, and actually get into the nuance of what Christianity actually believes as opposed to the other major religions of the world. And then have these conversations with friends. Ask questions like, why am I here? Why do I exist? Is it really just random? Am I really just a happenstance? Am I really an accident? When I think about everything that needed to take place to actually bring me into existence, thousands of years of history and thousands of years of my ancestors battling and fighting and thriving just so that I could live here and now. Why? How did that happen? And do I really think it's an accident, or is there a greater meaning and purpose to my life? Those questions and more can enter into the greater conversation. And sure, in the process, let's talk about what political structures best accentuate the importance and the uniqueness of humanity. As we have these great conversations, I believe that not only can we expect a brighter tomorrow, but that we'll actually start fixing our todays. So in order to have this conversation, we have to be willing to allow new perspectives and to show interest in people who think differently than us. If we're actually willing to engage in the conversation, I think we'll be the better for it. And at the end of the day, nobody's saying that you have to agree, and nobody's saying that you have to actually even appreciate anything the other person said, but just simply that you're open to the opportunity for the truth to enter into that thick brain of yours and mine so that we might actually be able to change. So you just got done watching a small excerpt of a much larger episode. You can find the link to that full episode down below in the description of this video. So you definitely need to check that out, because if you like that clip, you'll like the much larger episode. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and click that little bell to be notified when great new episodes of Indie Thinker come your way. Thanks for watching.